Hello and welcome to the Best Kept Secrets of Greene County, New York podcast, where we're letting the Catskills out of the bag. My name is Thomas Boomhauer, and I am the Economic Development Specialist for Greene County. With me, as always, is my intrepid co-host, the guru of all things Greene County, and the leader of the creative team for Buy in Greene and Invest Greene, Mark Gustafson.
Hey, Thomas.
How are you today, Mark?
Doing great. It's great to be up on the mountain.
It always is. Today, Mark and I have the privilege of sitting with Dave Cashman, owner of Last Chance Antiques and Cheese Cafe.
Hey, Dave. Welcome.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to sit and chat with Mark and I today. We're really excited to have you on the show and have the opportunity to talk about your business here.
Well, I appreciate that and look forward to talking to you guys.
Awesome. So we were really excited when we heard that you were willing to come on the podcast because up until now, we've been focusing mainly on people that have been transplants to Greene County. And that's not you. You were basically born and raised here, or tell us a little bit about your origin story and how you came to own Last Chance.
Yeah, well, glad to have you guys on the mountaintop. Yeah, I've been up here now 14 years, but I was born and raised here in Tannersville. I'm fourth generation family up here on the mountain, and graduate of 100 Tannersville Central.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a great time growing up here. After college, moved away for a little bit. And then after I found my wife, we made our way back up here to raise a family.
Awesome. So you lost her and then you had to find her? Or is that
Something like that.
Something like that. Awesome. How did the business come about?
So in 1971, my parents, Lauren and Anita, moved up here out of Long Island right after college.
Absolutely wonderful.
And figured they would try to make a go of it up here in a small little business. And if not, move back to the city and become an accountant. But yeah, so they built this business from the ground up in 71, and we've been at it ever since.
Has it always been the size that it is now, or were there additions that were made over the years? Or
yeah, so it went through a lot of iterations for sure. Started as a very small, just a snack shop, a little bit of cheese, some antiques. And in 1973, they had a major fire that destroyed the entire place, the inside of the place. And after that, with renovating, they became more of a restaurant, more food, built a kitchen. And then throughout the years, we built in every direction. We had built further to the left and then further to the right, and then acquired another piece of property, then built into the hill behind us as well. So have expanded into what we are now.
For those of you who have never been to Tannersville, it is an absolutely charming village on the way up to Hunter Mountain from the Valley Towns in Greene County. And you come past Catskill Falls, which is the view of the cloves of the Catskill Mountains, which are the stream-cut waterways that sort of pocket the area. And Last Chance is probably one of the most wonderful places to come for nourishment and libation that you'd ever want to know. I'm a particular addict of your Knishwich, which is just this amazing Knish sandwich with corned beef and cheese. Oh my God.
It sounds incredible.
It is. It's unbelievable. And the cheese plates, the beer selection, second to none, a great bar. But it is a gathering place that people come to from all over the place. I mean, I've got a friend, Seth Waymark, that comes down here just to get the cheese, and that's pretty amazing stuff. So how did you transition from your parents owning the little snack shop to building out and all of that to where Last Chance is now?
Well, we, just continue to invest in our own business. That was, always a focus, and putting back into the business to help it grow, and also adding our own personal interests. So, for example, as we sit here in the tavern space, that was a big interest of mine, having a space for live music, and a space to expand on my whiskey collection. So now we have approximately 100 different whiskeys.
Wow. Thomas was just admiring one of the bottles over there.
Yeah, I was curious about the Peerless. I don't know if it's a bourbon or whiskey or what. Keep seeing it everywhere. Always catches my eye.
Yeah, I don't know much about that one in particular, but I believe it's an old brand.
Okay.
I tried to have a lot of classic brands on there, and a lot of more, coveted whiskeys and scotches that you can't find us anywhere.
Yeah. Well, now I'm definitely.
That goes to the beer collection too, because it's a truly international beer collection.
Yeah, that was, really something my father expanded on. And, back in the 80s, there was no beer world or places to get all these varieties. But he had an admiration for a lot of Belgian ales. So the Chimay Reserve and Corsinons, some great beers from around the world. So we've expanded on that collection, but over time adjusted for tastes. So now people are into the IPAs and the sour ales. So we keep adjusting the collection, including some collaborations we do, some other breweries, Chatham Brewery, working on a new collaboration. So a new beer to be released this summer as well. So with our label on it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So the business community in Taylorsville, it's definitely seasonally driven, I would imagine. But due to that 2 seasons, from what I've heard, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that everybody goes away in April because it's mud month.
Yeah, no, we're just coming out of a really quiet season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the time to go away. But no, we've become more and more, a 3-season resort. Winters have always been strong. Summers have become a thriving business over here as we've become more discovered. And then the fall is a beautiful time of year to be up here.
Yeah.
People are into coming up here in fall, and we do some nice Oktoberfest kind of events on the mountaintop and amongst various businesses. So yeah, I'd say a good 3-season resort to come up to.
And the business community here seems really supportive. I mean, you've got a wide variety, and it looks like nobody really steps on each other's toes. They offer something unique in every different business.
Yeah, we have a great business community. I think it's thriving, and it's on the way up as well. We have a number of new businesses on the mountaintop, which is great to see. Family-owned businesses, small little shops. So there's a lot of interest as you walk through town. Something for everyone.
If you ever come up here on a Sunday morning, just about 9:30, quarter to 10, you will see a line outside of a bakery called Shandig Bake that people are coming here just to get what's going on. And this guy's got the most incredible business model. He bakes stuff he really loves. And then he, when he's all sold out, closes up.
Yes, that's for sure. Craig has done a great job.
Yes.
He has brought numerous of his baked goods to us for my crew to try. He does a great job over there.
We've got Camp Catskill across the street. It's an outfitter. It's kind of awesome. And then just up and down the entire street from Baron Fox way up at the at the head of town, all the way down through the donut shop. What's it? Fred's, which is just fantastic as well.
Yeah, so, and I believe we're going to have, as the summer hits, we're going to have a couple of new businesses as well.
Awesome. And then, of course, Mama's Boy Burgers, which is, the grass-fed burgers down the one traffic light here in Taylorsville, which is a great place, and a great place to go and meet up with friends. But talk to me a little bit about the ski season. How does your business differ in the ski season than it does in the summer?
Well, the ski season, I would say, has also changed a little bit, with new ownership at Hunter.
And they're part of the Vail?
They're part of the Vail group.
Okay.
So, outside of the tri-state area, there's a lot of people with the Epic Pass. And so we've been seeing a lot of new clientele that has discovered the mountaintop as a result of that transition. And I think it's really positive for the community. I think it's going to be a really good thing. And they are showing a lot of investment on the mountain. And I think that
whole Hunter North thing, the whole north side of the mountain, done in the past few years, right? So,
Hunter North, but they're also putting in a new chairlift this year, snow guns. So I think that's really positive to see, and I think that'll be really good for the business community here as well, long term. But our winter scene, it's a lot about the weekends. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's hopping. We have a line out the door on Saturday night, and you have live music, and that's definitely, you see the restaurant in full effect in the winter time.
I mean, it's empty now. Obviously, you're closed today, and it's still that the vibe is incredible. So I can't imagine when it's hopping. People are just skiing. They had a couple of drinks in them. Like, it's probably incredible here.
Thanks, appreciate that. I
mean, this whole area is a classic example. If you build it, they will come. When the Sluskies first invented snowmaking back in the 70s up on 100 Mill, it was really transition because there were all of the mountaintop communities in the 19th century, were primarily all driven by the fur trade and by the leather trade, by tanning. And that's hence the name Tannersville, because they had virtually everything they needed to find to be able to make tanneries, to make the tannic acid, and then to tan the furs and the leathers that were up here. To that point, on my way into town, or on my way into the village this morning, I got a beautiful glimpse of the Catskill Mountain black bear right at the edge of the road, sort of greeting me. Then he turned away and went. But
I would say if you hang out on Main Street most nights, you will see a bear crossing the street, trying to hit up their dumpster route, try and find whatever they can.
Yeah. I spent the summer working at the local Boy Scout camp Trimount, and the very first thing they tell the new counselors is, bears are cute, do not go near them.
they are wild animals. They're fun to look at from afar.
Yeah.
So, Dave, what have been some of the challenges that you faced keeping this business going? It has been going nonstop since the mid-'70s. So, this is a 50-year business. What are some of the challenges that you faced and keeping things going?
Yeah, like any business, I think there's trials and tribulations. I believe on the mountaintop, hearing the stories from my father, there's been ups and downs in this community. Businesses come and go. But, we've always said, just keep your head down, keep moving forward. Now we definitely face the challenge of employment and housing, like many communities.
Absolutely.
And I think we see that challenge even more up here, where it's really tourist-based. There's a lot of second homeowners, so the housing stock with the Airbnbs is even smaller. But we always seem to make our way through and fight that battle and do the best we can.
It is not a unique issue. That's one of the biggest things that we're working on with economic development is to make sure that we've got workforce and that we've got affordable housing to support that workforce so people can live and work here. And I know that Tannersville has received some funding, grant funding over the past few years for infrastructure. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, since I moved up here, I did get involved in, public service. So I'm very involved in that scene as well. And yeah, the Mountaintop has been fortunate enough to get a number of different grants. So there's been continued work on, water infrastructure, but also there's been some grant funding for housing. So we are working on a major housing project as well. That would be good for the community. And then there's been great stuff. Like right now, there's construction underway on restoration of the park.
Awesome.
So there will be a new park at Rip Van Winkle Lake, which will be nice. A passive park and chill by the lakeside. And then we're on the other side. We have pickleball courts and the playground.
And there's a frisbee golf there too, isn't there?
Oh, disc golf.
Disc golf. Yeah. Fantastic. But there's all sorts of community assets here. I mean, you're at Colgate Lake. It's very, very interesting, place up there. And then, the park at the Rip Van Winkle Lake that you're talking about, or Lake Rip Van Winkle Lake, never be sure on how they actually said it. But the village itself is one of the 19 municipalities in Greene County. We have 14 towns, 5 villages. And while we're in the town of Hunter has 2 of those villages, the village of Hunter and the village of Tannersville. Any difference that you see between being from Tannersville or being from Hunter? You said, you graduated from Hunter, Tannersville?
No, as far as being up here, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I think there are slight differences in the local government, really mostly in name only.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the mountaintop.
It's one community, kids go to the same school, and it's a great community to live in. That's why my wife and I decided to move out of the city and move back up here and raise our family. And
Now, are your kids going through that school system?
they sure are. Yeah. My kids go to the alma mater. My daughter will go to that new high school next year.
Awesome.
That's exciting for me as I walk through my own stomping grounds.
That was one of the big things that we're talking with Shahen and Kim from Redstone in our second episode. They moved up here from Long Island, Brooklyn actually. And they just loved the fact that the Carroll public school system for their young boys was just down the street from their business. And then, of course, as they get older, they'll go up to Carroll Durham Central. But
Yeah, it's a great lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's maybe old school, but living in a small community, and I live next to my mother, and my kids go to the school I went to, and that story for me is great. As opposed to being a number somewhere else, it's a really close-knit school.
Yeah.
We know all the teachers, so we're really proud of putting our kids into the system up here.
your mom is one of the most gracious ladies I've ever had the chance to have a conversation with. We were here, I think we were doing a 360 tour, virtual Main Street, a few years ago.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in here, and she engaged my wife and myself in just so many stories. And there's so much about what was going on. Truly, invested as a Tannersville native, and she just was absolutely fantastic to talk to.
Thank you.
Sure.
And Mark, that is a great plug. We have those virtual downtowns for how many of the...
I think we have 8 or 9 right now. You have to go to on buyandgreen.com. You can go look at Explore, and there are virtual tours of Cooksaki and Carroll and Catskill, Tannersville, Windham. I don't remember anything else. I think that's it. But we get inside and do 360 tours of local businesses. It's an interactive manner. And then there are some virtual tours also of community assets, like the walk through the newly renovated state boat launch in Riverside Park in Cooksaki, which is fantastic. So
Yeah, it works really well, I think, in tandem with the podcast, because this is obviously an auditory medium, but now you hear it, you're like, oh, that does sound like a cute little business. It sounds like a great community. You can go online, a link will be included in the show notes, and take a tour of the downtown virtually for yourself.
Absolutely. So one of the things we always try to get to in Best Kept Secrets of Greene County, New York podcast is a best kept secret, which I believe, without going out on a limb, Last Chance is not a best kept secret. However, many people that come into Last Chance come into the restaurant, and the ones that come into the restaurant may not know that behind 2 folding doors stocked with goods opens up into this amazing performance and meeting space tavern with an absolutely wonderful marble bar and great high tops, leather seats, wonderful conversation pit couch, and a grand piano. So talk to me about some of the music that's come through here and what you try to feature as far as performance is concerned.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, in 2010, my father and I built this space. It was an old liquor store in Delhi. That was a separate building. And we actually combined the 2 buildings. And it was always our vision to have a speakeasy feel.
Yeah.
So during the week, during the day, the doors were closed. People wouldn't realize behind the honey and the syrup. You push that open and it reveals our tavern space. So it's a great space. We've had a lot of private parties in here. But on the weekends, we were open with live music. And originally, we thought we would just be a jazz club. That was, small little jazz club. As much as we love jazz, and we've had a lot of jazz performances in here, rock and blues, sell drinks.
Yes.
So that's kind of been our push. And we've had some great artists through here, including some, Greene County artists like Lex Gray.
And the Urban Pioneers.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
They do a great job. So I've had them really since the beginning. I have them on a regular basis. So that has been fun. And then, just this year, we started doing an open mic as well. Not on a regular basis, but that has brought out some great local talent.
Now
That's been fun.
you piqued my interest because I'm a recovering musician. I was and I was a touring guy for years and years until I actually wanted to have a retirement and make a living and own homes. But my wife and I continue to write, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on your social feed to figure out when the next open mic night is, and try out some new stuff.
We'll get you up here. Another thing about this space, we made it look old. This is a new floor, but made to look old, and same with all the woodwork. But the Marble Bar, as you had mentioned, the interesting story on that, it's actually reclaimed marble from the sidewalks of Philadelphia.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
So
Talk about a reveal.
yeah, it's fun. A friend of ours just had a cocktail table out of it. Speaking to the salvage company, there's one other bar like this in Philadelphia that they've done, Oyster Bar in Philadelphia. And yeah, so we mimicked that. And that's a great showpiece and story piece. I joke that Ben Franklin probably danced on this bar one time. So that has been nice. So now this room has really been fun for us. If you look around, we've blown up a lot of old postcards from the area. So there's a lot of local sites that are on the postcards. And then this wall over here is a lot of actually my family. My mother was in that picture. She was young. My great grandparents on the wall, who were the first ones up here.
Really?
Just with like a summer cottage out of the city. And yeah, my family's been coming up ever since.
That's the big story too. Is people have a connection to this area and they end up coming here and moving here, and starting a business, raising a family.
Yeah, it has a real siren song feel.
Absolutely. Again, talking about you were saying that the floor looks old. It's made to look old, but just for our listeners, since this is an auditory medium, it's entirely laid out in about 1-inch hexagonal tile. And it is the coolest looking thing, accented all around, but it looks like it's been here for 100 years. And it was laid down in, 2010? You said something like that.
Yeah, that was the goal. And I think the other thing, I don't know if we mentioned, but another secret of ours, and a new secret, is our beer garden. We just built right after COVID, knowing that people had an interest being outside.
Yep.
Sure.
And so really proud of that space that we built really into the hill with big boulders and the classic garden tables.
Absolutely.
So serving
It
our
looks like you
drinks
stepped
in
in
there.
Looks like you stepped into Munich. It's just the tables are long enough that it's not just relegated to one group. You probably end up bumping elbows with new friends as you enjoy beers out in the Nick Beer Garden. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah, that's been fun. And so we're looking to expand our music, not just in this space, but doing some outdoor music at times as well. So we're excited about that space. And
Yeah, the upper level of the beer garden is a natural stage for outdoor music, so that's kind of cool. Again, another review.
Yeah.
So we're just racking them up here at Last Chance. This is fantastic. So, Dave, if you have any advice to someone that is interested in joining a community like what we have in Tannersville, coming in, as you said, you have roots here, your parents were here, but you did go away to college and then you moved back up here 14 years ago. So, what's the best piece of advice that you could give to somebody that's looking to come in from the outside, maybe?
yeah, I mean, I think it's truly a lifestyle up here that's great. You can have a thriving business up here. I think the beauty of it is that there are these off seasons. I'm not sure how I'd feel if it was, a New York City pace at all times. So it's a nice balance up here. That's for sure. When it's busy, you could have a thriving business and make a go at it. And then when it's quiet, you could also enjoy the great outdoors and, hike up here. It's actually my favorite time is the off season, not just because I have time for myself, but it's quiet up here. You have the trails to yourself as well. Colgate Lake, as you mentioned, I was up there just the other day. There was no one up there at that point. So I think that's really nice. And yeah, I think it's a great community to be part of, where, not only the schools and all the parks and other things happening up here, but there's actually a tremendous amount going on. My kids have participated a lot with Catskill Mountain Foundation.
Nice.
As a performing arts center just down the road, and they're expanding that as well. So I think it's a great community that has all the aspects that you need for, whether raising a family or just enjoying great outdoors, and whether you're working from home or, building a business. It has a lot to offer.
Well, Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being the feature of our episode 5 of Best Kept Secrets of Greene County, New York. any chance we get to come up on the mountaintop, Thomas and I are all about it. So we want to make sure that everybody knows when you're traveling up 23A on your way to Hunter, or just taking a nice drive up to see the clothes, stop in at Last Chance, and you'll be glad you did.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of the Best Kept Secrets of Greene County, New York podcast. Thank you again, Dave, for taking the time to chat with Mark and I and giving us the opportunity to let the cat out of the bag on this incredible business of yours.
Thank you. Nice to have you guys, and look forward to sharing whiskey sometime soon.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Our next stop remains somewhat mysterious even to us, but we can promise you listeners one thing. Like always, we will be visiting one of the seemingly infinite, incredible Greene County businesses. So until then, we've got places to go, things to do, and stories to tell.